and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. We have Ale Moreno and Stevie Nicol here tonight. I'm Kay Murray, and we start the show with the Bundesliga title race. It's taken another little twist and turn, it is fair to say. Borussia Dortmund had been leading the table by a point. They still lead the table at the moment, but a win for Bayern Munich on Sunday means that they can leapfrog them back into first place. Big opportunity, it could be lost. Here's Archie in touch with some post-match interviews after the clash.
Edin, it was always going to be a difficult game here. Coming to Bochum on a Friday night in a derby, everybody knew what that was like. How's your take on what you saw tonight after that game?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we knew that it's going to be a tough game and intense game, and we can only ease the pressure if we score goals. And today we created enough chances to win that game, but we hadn't, and so you have to fight until the end for the win. And then there are crucial key moments where you need not only the quality and the talent from our players, you also need like a bit of luck. And today there have been three situations, three key moments that we are really disappointed with, especially at this stage of the season on this level, where we are fighting, and we said maybe it's once in a lifetime opportunity for us to become champions. And then by the end of the season, there are three calls without a review area, and this is something that is really hard to take. If you just go back a couple of weeks ago, we played here against Bochum, and there was a penalty for Bochum. It was, I think, 6 minutes of VAR, and then they made the wrong decision. It was not a handball, it was outside, and it was a foul on our player. So it was basically three wrong decisions. But he watched it, and then he made the call. Tonight he didn't use it, and this is something. I spoke to him. I told him that I really apologize for my emotions and for the tone that I set at the dugout. But I can't accept any apologies for that decisions and that calls tonight.
Dortmund had the chances to win it is fair to say, but those decisions definitely did go against them. Now a win for Bayern Munich, 3 points, would put them back on top of the table, and they take on bottom of the table, Hertha, on Sunday. But Ale, just going back to hearing from Edin Terzic there, are those decisions going to be something that we look back on come the end of the season, where they could have cost them if they lose the title?
Well, to be fair to Edin Terzic, the thing that he addressed first was the fact that they had chances and they missed those opportunities. So he recognized that his team came up short in terms of controlling the game themselves and controlling the outcome by taking advantage of the opportunities that they created. Having said that, in this moment in time, when this title race is as close as it is, when there's so much tension and nerves and anxiety, you need referees to be able to do their jobs as well. And I couldn't agree more with Edin Terzic in saying, look, if the referee on the field doesn't see it or sees it late or perhaps didn't have the best angle, it's one thing. But why do you have a system in place when a foul like this that I think is clear, is flagrant, blatantly clear to see that Danilo Suarez goes through the legs of Karim Adeyemi as he's trying to shield the ball away from the defender? Never came close to the ball, makes full contact with Karim Adeyemi. It is a clear foul. It should be something that VAR should be able to address, or at the very least give the referee a chance to go and see it. Come to the monitor, see it yourself, evaluate it, and if you come up with the same decision, we may disagree, but at the very least, we see a process in place that allows the referee to see the play himself. That didn't happen. And that, I think, is the part that is going to really upset Edin Terzic and Borussia Dortmund fans, because you are thinking to yourself, right, we didn't do our part. We didn't do our job in terms of taking advantage of the opportunities. But when there were moments for the referee to do his job, he didn't do it. And when there was an opportunity for the VAR official to help him, they didn't do it either. That, I think, is the most disappointing part from their perspective.
As always in these situations, the VAR unfortunately has to change the rhetoric, because it comes down to clear and obvious. And if the guy in the VAR or the people in the VAR are not sure whether it's clear and obvious, they don't do anything. That they have to get rid of that, because that's their excuse. Well, we can't do anything unless we think the referee's made a clear and obvious decision or a mistake. Then we'll leave him alone. And they tell you we have to leave him alone. That's where they have to change it. If they're not sure whether it's a penalty or not, that should be the only thing that matters. Not whether it's clear and obvious, but is it the right or wrong decision for such an important decision? So if they can get rid of that and go to, well, it could be, let's get the referee over, then we might have seen a different decision by the referee.
So as you said, there were the decisions, and we're not discounting them, but there were chances for Borussia Dortmund in this game. There was also a chance to ensure that you keep a clean sheet, and very early on, Bochum go ahead. And this is where we're seeing the Borussia Dortmund where we don't know what to make of them this season.
Right, and so you're thinking after they have all the momentum coming into this game, given the fact that they did have a dominant performance against Eintracht Frankfurt on the weekend, and they're now leading Bundesliga, what are they going to do? They're really going to establish how superior of a team they are, how much better of a team they are early on. Early on, they go down 1-0. But give credit to Borussia Dortmund. A minute later, they tie the game up, and so you're thinking, okay, from here on out, we are going to see a better version of Borussia Dortmund because nerves calm down. Game is 1-1. Let's settle down. Let's play. And they did. They did settle down. They did play, and they did create chances in the first half. They did not take advantage of those chances in the first half. And what happened was they go into halftime, and now you have that doubt and those nerves and that anxiety that starts settling into a team that is unsure because they've been here before, where they have an opportunity to win this thing, and they hand that responsibility back to Bayern Munich. And in the second half, instead of seeing a Borussia Dortmund that was creating more opportunities, that was creating more chances, no, it became a game of duels and 50-50 duels and battles and fights and first ball, second ball, third ball. And Bochum is like, this is the game we want to play. Thank you very much. Come on down. We're going to fight with you. And if it is a fight, this is what we feel comfortable doing. It wasn't until the last 10 minutes of the game where you really saw Borussia Dortmund pushing forward when they got desperate. You never really needed to get to that point.
Half time is to make sure when they leave the dressing room that they're fired up to get after it straight away, because you can't rely on just sitting back. Just let's sit back and play our football and the openings will come. This time of the season, you've got to go and grab it. You know, nobody's going to give you anything. You've got to go and take it. And they didn't do it. And as Ali said, 10, 15 minutes, all of a sudden, the urgency was there, the movement was better, the desire was better. That makes no sense. When you're trying to win your first title for, 11 years, is it? And you start the second half off against Bochum, who are trying to avoid relegation, and you don't get after it, I think that's down to the coach.
The funny thing is going into the game, even though Dortmund were leading the table and had the 1 point advantage, there was a big feeling from some parts that Bayern Munich, some of the odds makers as well, were still favourites going into the clash, obviously given their history, their 10 straight Bundesliga titles, the fact that there is still a few games to be played. These are the odds now as we look at it, and it's hard not to flip-flop on who you think is going to win it this season. Ale Moreno's been doing it for the whole of this calendar year, it's fair to say. Who are you saying tonight, Ale?
Honestly, I thought today was going to be a chance for Borussia Dortmund to put additional pressure on Bayern Munich. And what we saw is that they weren't quite ready, to use Stevie's words, to go and get it. And neither one of these teams are actually or have proven to be good enough to go and get it. It's almost as if they're waiting for the other to hand it over to you. I have to say that going into this match, I thought this was Borussia Dortmund. There is no way that they're going to give this opportunity back. How many opportunities are you going to get? They give the opportunity right back to Bayern Munich. It's enough. I'll have to go back from where I was, solid in the Borussia Dortmund camp, and see you guys later. I'm going over here to the Bayern Munich camp.
Before I ask Stevie, Archie Rintos on the coverage did say, try and keep a straight face, though, and tell me that Bayern will win these remaining 5 games, and you weren't able to do that, Ale.
Well, but I can't do that for Dortmund either. I can't keep a straight face about either one of these teams, and that's a concern.
as are these recent results for Bayern Munich.
Well, and that's the concern, is that, look, Bayern Munich is a team that's in trouble. They really are. And they have their own issues. They presented opportunities, multiple opportunities, not just one, multiple opportunities to Borussia Dortmund. And Dortmund, instead of saying, okay, you know what, we haven't won this nobody else has won this in 10 years. It's been Bayern Munich the whole time. Here it is. Here's our chance. Let's go get it. It's ours. We're going to establish ourselves. We're going to show how good of a team we are. We're going to be consistent. We're going to be clean defensively. We're going to score goals. We're going to create chances. None of that. None of that. They were dominant against Eintracht Frankfurt, and I fell for it. I was fooled. I thought, okay, they've overcome. From here on, they take off. I was fooled. I was wrong. You got me, Borussia Dortmund. I'm going back to the Bayern Munich camp.
Bayern or Borussia Dortmund?
You've got to go with Bayern. I mean, Ali's right. The only way Borussia do it is if Bayern really do just hand it over, which I don't see it. I don't see it.
Anything can happen this season, let me tell
Well,
you that. Bayern will be playing on Sunday against bottom side Hertha, so we'll have to see how that game plays out.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.